When a black cat crossed Nancy's path in 2022, she took bold steps to make over her successful online business and her life to be aligned with her best skills and desires. Now she leads the Love Your Business, Love Your Life inner circle to make sure the next chapter of business and life for herself and her clients is the best and most rewarding on any score in the balance sheet and beyond. Doing business by doing good is a core value. And I think she is going to kind of show us, actually, like really put her money where her mouth is and actually show us that. Am I right, Nancy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's do it.
Thank you so much for having me. I have been coming to all of these trainings throughout the Advanced Email Marketing Conference, and I've learned so much, and it's really been fun to get the vibe of the whole event. So thank you for having me. Before I get started, I want to shake things up a little bit and ask a couple of questions because, sitting there listening to people go back, talk about what they know is one thing, but getting involved in the conversation is also very valuable too. So I'd like to know who's here. So if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to know how many of you identify as pre-launch, you're starting something new, and the whole email marketing thing is like a whole new world for you. If that's you, put a 1 in the chat. If you have an early stage business that's starting to gather traction, put number 2 in the chat. If you are an established business that's cooking with gas and knows a bit about email marketing and partnership marketing, put a 3 in the chat. And if you are an advanced marketer who knows all about partnerships and email marketing and segmenting and all kinds of other things, and you're on your way to building a legacy brand or a legacy business, put a 4 in the chat. And let's just see who we have here. Looks like we've got a nice mixture of people here in the chat.
But Ellen didn't tell the truth. She should be a 4.
I don't know if I think of myself as establishing a legacy business. That kind of means like I'm ready to sell it or something. So, but whatever.
Not necessarily.
It's great to know where you are in the business, because some of the things we're going to be talking about today may be a little beyond. If you're just getting started, some of the things I might talk about today might be brand new to you and might set a suggestion about what you can aspire to. And if you're further along, maybe there'll still be some value that I can add, but I certainly want to have value to bring so that my session will be the one that you remember most as really going deep and giving you news you can use. I also would like to ask another question. So often with email marketing and partnership marketing in particular, people will say, well, how big is your list? How big is your list? Or another way to say it is, when you send emails to your community, how many opt-ins can we count on from you? Those are 2 different ways of saying this similar kind of thing. But I think it would be useful to know, for those of you who are here today in this room, are you someone with an email list of 5,000 or fewer on your opt-in list? If that's the case, put a 1 in the chat. And are you someone who has 5,001 or something greater in the chat? And I'll tell you a little story about why this is important, going back to my early days. Sees we have a lot of folks who are, modest sized list. Okay, that's great. Give yourself a pat on the back. You're just starting out. You're learning from the best at the Email Marketing Conference, brought to you by Connie Reagan Green and Ellen Finkelstein. And good on you, because this is really where you want to be. But we all have humble beginnings. I can tell you, because I keep track of this kind of thing. I know that when I send an email to my list, I can typically send 100 or 150 opt-ins to a partner or something better most of the time. And I keep track of it because I want to know that when I'm choosing to promote someone, that there's a good audience to message match and that it's relevant and congruent to what it is that I do and how I do it. And so I want you to be thinking about that. But I remember back in the day, I was known for a book called the Bye Bye Boring Bio Workbook. And it was actually my magic carpet that I rode to get known and paid as an expert in the online marketing space. And no one was having any issue with the quality of the content or the quality of the presentation or me as a human being being a remarkable high integrity person. But I had this one lady say to me back in the day, she says, how many people are on your list? And I immediately went to list shame and I revealed the number, which was at the time 5,000 or fewer. And then she says to me, you know what? You're great. I love you. I love your work. I don't have any issue with that. But until your list is at 10,000 or greater, we have nothing to talk about. I won't promote you. You can promote me, but I'll never reciprocate. Hate to talk trash and talk straight to you in this manner, but that's the way it is. And don't come back to the well until you have 10,000 or more people on the list. Is anyone else groaning in this moment? Put groan.
Yeah, well, like Andres says, wow, how rude. So that's exactly
Yes,
it.
that's a horrible person.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes someone will come across your path and just hit you squarely between the eyes, and you can either be offended by it or you can be compelled to do something about it. And since we're coming off of a holiday weekend where a lot of us were celebrating Thanksgiving, maybe you can identify with the idea of being stuck at the little kids' table at Thanksgiving, where everybody, all the grown-ups are over there having this totally different conversation, but for some reason you're stuck over here with the little kids. And for me, I guess I got kind of sick and tired of it and decided to do something about it. And so I got relentless about growing my list. And I brought forth all this proving energy. And I remember, I'm just taking some notes here. I got relentless about it. I thought, well, I'm going to participate in summits, and I'm going to participate in free giveaways, and I'm going to do Facebook ads and drive advertising to my free gift. And I'm going to do free gift swaps with really great partners. And I'm going to do a live video from my Facebook group, and I'm going to have a call to action from every single video that's going to drive people to my free gift. And I'm going to do blog posts that are going to have a call to action to go get my free gift. I'm going to do, you know how when you're in a Facebook group, they'll say, today is call to action Wednesday. Go ahead and post your free gift here. I did that too. And then if I did a press release, because I come to this work from having been a publicist for decades, I'd have a press release talking about the who, what, where, when, why, and how. And what do you know? In the boilerplate paragraph, I'd include a call to action to do what? Go get my free gift. When I would be invited to speak on someone's live or virtual stage or someone's podcast, what was my call to action? Go get my free gift. So what do you know? Within a 6-month window of time, I built a list of over 10,000 opt-in subscribers. Over 10,000. And that list has grown today, and I can tell you exactly, 21,545 people who are subscribed to my list. That's a long ways away from the little kids' table at Thanksgiving. So gold star for me, right?
Yes.
And there's an ugly underbelly to that, which I think is really important to address, that I want to hit squarely on the head. Because if you're relentless about getting people to get on a list so that you can have the currency of the list size to be able to play with bigger players, that's one thing. But have you thought about what your business model is and how that's all going to work together? So I would ask another question. Are you trying to create a lucrative lifestyle business that you operate on your own terms, that's lean and profitable? Or are you trying to build an empire that's responsible for millions of dollars and a huge team? It's really important to consider what your model is as you're growing your list, because you know what? You could have a really big list and it may not support the model that you want for your life and your work. And so many times in the intervening years since I got relentless about building my list, I've heard people say, oh, you don't necessarily have to have a really big list to have a really great, profitable, lean, and amazing business. And this last year in particular, I've been giving a lot of consideration to that, because the last thing I want to do is build a huge multi-million-dollar business with a huge team of people, because I had breast cancer last year and I don't know how many days I'm going to get going forward. And I want to make sure that I love my business and love my life. And if I was going to build a multi-million-dollar whatever it was, I probably would have done it 20 years ago. It's always been about a lifestyle for me, and to do work that I love on terms that are aligned with my values. So I'm asking you to consider what kind of a list you're growing, because if you are being relentless in getting people to say yes to your free gift, you may have a whole bunch of freebie seekers on your list who are sampling what it is that you do. But sometimes the freebie seekers, especially with giveaways, you may have 18 or 20 people going after the giveaways that are available during that window of time. And those freebies may end up in the freebie gift, the freebie graveyard, never to be opened by anyone. And you have people on your list that are kind of dead weight. So a bigger question to ask when you're building your list is, do you want a list of buyers on your list, or do you want a list of freebie seekers who may never do anything at all? So when you're building your business and building the ideal of what you want for your business and your life, okay, I want to build a lifestyle business where I'm doing great work for amazing clients in a boutique arrangement. And that means that I want to get people that are aligned with the way I do things and how I do things, so that they can more urgently move through the sequence, if you will, to one day become clients. And one day soon, because I remember so many times that people have said, I can't wait to do your program until I finish this one or that one or the other one. Is there anyone willing to raise their hand that someone has said that to them? Yes, I want to do your program, but only after I finish this one and this one and this one. If you have had a black cat cross your path and someone says to you, maybe in 4 years I'll be ready for your program, I don't have a lot of patience for that. I want people to get on the bus sooner versus later. I don't want people to be on the merry-go-round, blithely going around the carousel. I want people who want to get off the dime and get something accomplished because it's urgent and important and it needs to happen right now. And so am I opposed to nurturing an email list? Absolutely not. I've been doing my newsletter for over 20 years. But there are people on my newsletter list that have never bought from me and probably never will, and they still open my emails. So I think I'm still doing them a solid by serving them in the best possible way. But I'm asking you to consider, do you want freebie seekers on your list, or do you want convicted buyers? Before I go too much further, I do want to say that I want to thank Ellen for the powerful example that she has set with her roundup emails, which I've heard today she got inspired to do by Connie Reagan Green. But I remember when I was diagnosed with my illness last year, I had a heart-to-heart with one of my dear friends. And I said, this is kind of a confronting thing I have to contend with. And I don't know if I should take a sabbatical from work completely, or if I should continue to nurture my email list while I'm contending with this health issue. And my good friend told me that when her mother passed away, she decided to abandon any kind of contact with her newsletter list while she grieved. And that grieving period went on for about 6 months. And then when she was feeling better, she decided to come back to her list, and she realized that her list had evaporated and people weren't really happy to hear from her anymore. And I thought to myself, I have to keep my newsletter list alive while I contend with what life has served up. So I embraced Ellen's roundup email format and decided to use this period of time in my life to advocate and champion and promote my best partners on a steady basis, so that I could put some good currency in the bank with my partners, even though I wasn't promoting anything of my own. And I will happily tell you that generous commissions continue to flow into my mailbox or my shopping cart because I kept my email list alive without even telling anybody that anything was wrong with me. And so if you've ever wondered, what do I do when something horrible happens and I have to keep the thing going? Don't give up on your email community, because people can be fickle, and you don't want your people that you've worked so hard to attract to go elsewhere. Find a way to serve them in the best possible way. And so thank you, Ellen and Connie, for your wonderful example, because not only did that keep my email list alive and well during a challenging time in my life, but when I came back to my list after healing, and thank God I was better than ever, I realized that it was more important than ever to take myself off the shelf and bring myself more fully to the people who were subscribing. So I started sharing stories about what happened for me and what I came through and how that was going to inform and shift the way I was going to do business. And I found that my email list was so happy to hear from me and was cheering for me and was wanting to do business with me. And that was very, very validating. And I think what was also really important is, yes, we need to make a living, but we also have to have a life. And it's become incredibly important to me that my values be alive and well with every move that I make and every initiative that I advocate for, and that I feel good about how I'm showing up in every context, regardless of whether there's a revenue rush associated with it or not. I remember reading Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, and he said, if you're living according to your values, you will do those things whether or not it makes good economic sense, because it's deeply in your core of what you care most about, that you will do those things because it's important to you. So my question to you is, what really does matter to you, and how do you want that to be expressed in the business that you build and grow? Because what I discovered is that I wanted to give back. And I've kind of had a pattern of giving back for most of my career and also most of my life. I remember as a little kid with my mom in the car driving into McDonald's and thinking how cool it is that they have Ronald McDonald House at McDonald's, because they're giving back to kids who have illnesses. And whether or not you gave to the Ronald McDonald House, I know for myself, I feel better about going to McDonald's knowing that they have this initiative associated with doing good for kids who need help. When I go to the grocery store and I'm checking out, and the checkout counter says, would you like to give an extra $1 to the Juvenile Diabetes Association? Sometimes I make the contribution and sometimes I don't, but I always feel good about shopping at Safeway because they have made a decision that baking cause-related initiatives into their business is something that's important to them. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if I can do that too. And then I got this great recollection. And this was just a crazy thing. Way back in the day, before I started my online business, I was the marketing director for Taco Time restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. And we had 75 restaurants across Western Washington. Some were franchise owned and some were company owned. But between all the restaurants, it was millions and millions of dollars in fast food that was sold year after year after year. And I realized that there was no way to, when I joined them, everybody was doing their own thing with regard to charitable giving. And so one day in a meeting, I said, I think we should link arms and do something important for our community, and do it because it's the right thing to do, but also to engender loyalty and goodwill among the community that we've served so many years, all these years. And so they said, what do you have in mind? And so I said, you know how it is in the fast food world, in January, February, and March, sales really plummet because people have overspent their dollars for the holidays. And not only that, but they're dieting. And so what happens in the first quarter of every year in the fast food world is everybody does competitive discounting, and you will choose your drive-through based on the great deal you can get. Well, Taco Time never did deals and never did discounting. And so my advice to them was, how about for 3 months of this coming year, we all could join together with a coupon book campaign where you give $1 to a local cause that we all agree on, and you, the customer, will get $5 in savings on your favorite menu items, so that you will keep coming to the restaurant all those months, even during competitive discounting season. Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather when I'm sitting at the Taco Time restaurant not long ago with a tray liner, and it says, did you know that since 1997, customers of Taco Time restaurants have contributed over $3 million to local charities because of the I Love Taco Time coupon book campaign? It's true.
Oh.
And this was 20 years after I'd left the company. That one big idea that I sold into that organization became part of the fabric of their brand. And 20 some odd years later, they're still beating the drum for the I Love Taco Time coupon book campaign. And I was there to start it. And of all the things that I've done in my career, I feel so proud of that. Giving back really matters to me. And so I'm thinking to myself, I'm a small business, but does that mean that I can't think big for what good I can do? So during my illness, I was supported by the Fourth Angel peer-to-peer mentoring program at the Cleveland Clinic. This was an organization that Scott Hamilton, the Olympic skater, created during his aftermath of his cancer battle. And he said that there are your doctors, there's your family, and there's your friends. But what he was really hungry for is someone else who had been through the same kind of cancer, who was about his same age, who could be his friend and his champion and his advocate during a time in his life where he really needed somebody to talk to. And so he started the Fourth Angel peer-to-peer mentoring program, and I was the beneficiary of it. And I got to tell you, it was a godsend for me, because I didn't tell anyone I was sick, but boy, oh boy, it was really hard going through that. I'm sure you've all known people who have dealt with cancer and nobody wanted to talk about it. And here we are talking about it now, but I'm well. Anyway, so I thought to myself, I'm going to start a cause-related initiative. So now I'm going to get into some of the details. I decided to try a couple of things. One was, I help people become brilliant podcast guests and also do done-for-you Media One sheets for people. And I have a template, a Media One sheet gift template, that has been a workhorse for me, in that like 62% of the people that go to get it, to go to look at it, actually opt in to receive it. And I thought, wow, that's a really strong conversion rate. What if I asked people to give $5 in order to receive this Media One Sheet gift template? What could happen? So what ended up happening? During the month of October, which was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I had 27 donors from 63 visits for a 43% take rate on that offer. And that was respectable. 43% of the people that landed on that opt-in page, it was a purchase page. You can donate $5 and get this goodie. 43%, not bad. The good news about that particular exercise is I got all the technology working so that I could get JV partners to promote it, and I could track it, and it was all working just fine. But then I thought to myself, what if someone got the Media One Sheet for free somewhere else and was disappointed or annoyed with me that they had to pay for it in order to make a donation in order to get it? Maybe that's confusing. Maybe that's not aligned and congruent. So I thought, what else do I have in my arsenal that would be of high value that I could make available so people could make a donation in order to receive it? And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, it's been hiding under my nose all these years. The Bye Bye Boring Bio workbook, I got famous for it, and it's been heralded as an extraordinarily valuable resource. You can go to Amazon and buy it for $97. You can go to my website and buy it for $97. But when I first brought it to market in 2009, I sold it for $27. So I thought, what the heck? I'm going to make it available for $27 donation to the Fourth Angel Mentoring Program. And I'm going to see what can happen from that. This just started just almost like a couple of days ago. But 8 donors have come forth from 51 visits. That's a 16% take rate. And so it's way too early and not enough traction to really know if this is going to fly or not. But I'll tell you this, I got in touch with Lead Pages to tell them what I was up to, and they've decided to do an interview with me to talk about how I'm baking cause-related marketing into my business. Do you know how many entrepreneurs have access to the stories that Lead Pages tells about entrepreneurs up to good things? I am super excited about the publicity that is going to follow when people find out that they can get this wonderful thing. And so I'm very excited about that. And then
fantastic. Yes.
Sorry, Ellen, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's fantastic. That it's great publicity for you, and it's a great, interesting way to promote the concept and, of course, your actual workbook. So, yeah.
Yes, excellent.
Well, and sometimes people, that expression, if you're a hammer, everything around you is a nail.
Yeah.
I have been a publicist all of my life, and I just have a way of thinking about things as to how could this be interesting and useful to a much wider audience without it feeling salesy or icky or anything less than awesome. And I thought, here I am on the Ellen Finkelstein and Connie Reagan Green Advanced Email Marketing Summit, talking right after Thanksgiving, the day before Giving Tuesday. And
yes, I was going to mention that.
It's like, oh my God, how great is this? So then this was the other important piece of data that was very valuable that relates to advanced email marketing. The mechanics work with this promotion, but you get far fewer people coming to the page because there's a donation requirement than you do if you had a free gift all by itself. And because I do a lot of joint ventures with movers and shakers with decent size following, it's important to have a like for like opportunity to exchange with partners. So if a partner says to me, I'd like to promote your free gift during the month of October, and in exchange, will you promote my free gift to your list during the same window of time? It's an equivalent exchange for a similar outcome. Everybody's going to go for a free gift, and that's that. So here was where the learning came in and where I just started to take action. I have a relatively new report, the 6 crucial questions you need to answer to make sure that every move you make pays off and in alignment with your values. And what I decided to do is bake in the cause-related initiative into the autoresponder sequence. So the first email is, congratulations, here's your 6 questions report. And as you read it, you'll get to know what my values are with regard to health and wealth and life and relationships and everything like that, because I'm calling you to get clear about what your values are. Then in the second email, it says, if you've enjoyed the 6 questions report, you know how important it is to put your money where your mouth is. I really care about giving back to causes that matter to me, and this is the one that's super close to my heart. And when you decide to give $27 to this cause, you will receive this heralded resource so you can update every bio, social media platform, and media one sheet that you need to look like a rock star everywhere you show up. Won't you please give to this cause? And so people are doing it, and it's baked into the autoresponder sequence. So that means that I can do free gift swaps with the right kinds of partners and have a tit for tat kind of thing to bring. And the cause-related initiative is baked into my company. Now, earlier I said, I love that McDonald's does the Ronald McDonald House. Even if I don't ever give to the cause, I end up feeling good about McDonald's. And so what's part of this? Why does this matter to me? I want people to say, that Nancy Jutton's got a big heart and high integrity, and she puts her money where her mouth is, and she's taking every step that's aligned with what matters to her. She's the kind of business person I want to aspire to be like. And if I can influence people to bake cause-related initiatives into their business model, that feels like a pretty nice win for the marketplace and for the world. And it just might make you feel better about doing something really positive, because if a lot of small businesses do a lot of little things to make a big difference, the world just changes. And was it Steve Jobs that said, your real brand is what people say when you leave the room? Well, you know, when your path is crossed by a black cat, you kind of start thinking about, what are people going to say about me when I'm not here anymore? And I don't want to wait another 5 years to bake cause-related marketing into my business. I want to do it now, because who knows what is going to happen next. So let's see.
I thought what we could do, if it's the right time, is I can put in the link for your offer, because it's an example of this, and they can see it, and we could share the screen.
Yeah, it's
So,
getknowngetpaid.com/EMC.
well, I have a link that you gave me. So,
That's the one.
yeah. And why don't I share the screen, because I have it up, and you can kind of talk about it a little bit. Would that work?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So let me make this take up the entire screen. So this is where it goes to. So why don't you talk us through it?
Oh, sure. Oh, actually, this isn't
That's
the
not
right
it?
one.
Okay, so give me the right one.
Can I give you can I?
Yes, you can give me another one. I will go away from this.
Yeah. If we go to Get Known, and this is your goodies are all baked into this, right?
I don't know, but go ahead. Just don't
I
worry
took
about
care
it.
of it.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I took care of it. If you go to the link that I've just shown, I'll walk you through it all.
So,
how are you doing so far? Is this valuable? Are you getting any value? Or
Extremely valuable. Extremely valuable. I'm a survivor as well. It's been 31 years for me. So, yeah.
So happy.
Yes, yes. And you have like that pink in the face, you know what I mean? You look so, so healthy. So that's a wonderful, wonderful sign.
I feel so grateful for my life, and I want to make every moment count. This is the right thing. Perfect city.
All
So
right.
here we are. It's November 27th. You're probably immersed in planning for a profitable and amazing new year. And I would say to you that getting clear about your values is a really important thing to do before you plan out a year long of business initiatives. So if you will download the 6 vital questions to fuel your best business and life special report by putting your name and email address into this special box, you will receive the 6 questions report within minutes. Be sure to check junk, promo, or spam. And in the second autoresponder, it'll say, hey, if you care about giving back while you're here, won't you please give to this cause? And you'll receive the Bye Bye Boring Bio eWorkbook that has been the magic carpet upon which I have flown over the last 20 some odd years to become known and well paid for my expertise. In the autoresponder sequence, I think you also get access to one of the best editorial videos ever done about my book that was by the Ghost CEO. It was not a joint venture. It was not sponsored. I sent it to Chris Flett of Ghost CEO to review it because he's a dear colleague, and he surprised me with a video heralding why it was such a great thing. And not only that, but he insisted that all of his 1,000 business coaches embrace this tool for themselves and all of their clients. So I've done, if your work is based on quality, don't be afraid to make it available in exchange for a donation. Maybe you'll be able to make a huge difference with your market and also do well with a cause that's near and dear to your heart. I think for me, way back in the day when that partner that was not going to be my partner said, I'll never promote you until your list is whatever size, I say thank you to her every day, because I have grown my list by nurturing it and serving value every time I hit send. And I think the question that y'all need to be asking yourselves is, what can you do to earn the right for your readers to open your emails? Is there enough intrigue, curiosity, and value and entertainment and insight in those emails that every time you hit send, people actually open them? Because I will tell you something, I was doing the math, because doing the math is important. With my newsletter, the last 19 episodes, I've had a 40% open rate,
Wow.
which is very respectable.
Yes.
Yes.
And then with regard to my larger list, here's another advanced email marketing strategy that I think is really important. It has proven to be very important for me. Is there's the big, huge list that you might have or aspire to have. And then there's the segmenting that you can do with specific aspects of your list. So for example, I can go to the media one sheet gift template list, which is highly segmented, and I can let that list know that the Done For You Media One Sheet service is going to be going up in price in the new year. And if they're in a hurry to get that squared away at today's great prices, they might want to jump on that sooner versus later. When I do those kinds of segmented emails, 83% open, 79% open, 59% open, 72%, 72%, 68%, 41%, 48%, 32%. Wow. Like when I mail to the whole list, it's so much smaller. So if I get really specific about what I want people to do, so with regard to this cause-related initiative, I know who's made a donation because they all show up in their own autoresponder list. So if I feel that I want to engage with those people who have decided that for one reason or another, I'm the one that they wanted to invest into to make that donation to get that resource, I can let them know, since you've gotten that, are you hungry for more and should we get on a call and talk about it? I know those people are opening my emails at a higher rate because they've already parted with a few dollars to do some good, and they're favorably inclined to want to know more about what else is under the tent or what else is on the menu over here. So as an advanced email marketing strategy, yes, you have your entire list, and wherever you are in your business, love on your list no matter what you send them, but you may have different ways that people can play with you. And if you've got a high ticket offer, well, that requires a different level of effort to bring people forth than if you've got something for $27. And so try to make sure that the level of effort is a match for the outcome that you're aiming for, so that you can be eminently productive and profitable whatever move you make. So I hope this has been helpful, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions that anyone has and receive any feedback that you have for me.
Yes, so I would like to hear your feedback in the chat, not just verbally. You know, I like to tell the people who didn't attend what they missed. And so please do put some information there. So for example, we have here Deb Pritchard said, my memoir is about 10 years in the Philippines where I helped start Special Olympics. You just gave me an idea to include a QR code in the back of the book, linking to the landing page where I helped to fund them. This is great. So absolutely, that is a great thing. So Cheryl says, great information. Thank you. Anything else? You know, I think cause-related selling is something that has become more popular over the last maybe 5 or 10 years, something like that. One of the companies that I became aware of was Tom's Shoes. And he took a trip to South America or Central America and he saw, you know, kids without shoes. And he decided that he was going to donate a pair of shoes for every pair that was sold. And that his big thing was 1 for 1. It wasn't just like every 10 that I'm going to, it was like every one you buy, I'm going to donate a pair of shoes. And it became really part of his story and part of the website. And when I created a course on storytelling, I actually went to their webmaster. There was some link or something. If there's something wrong with this website, let us know here. I asked for permission to put a screenshot of a page into it and use that story. And so it is very, very powerful. But we might think about how powerful it is for sales, but I think what you've brought out is kind of how powerful it is for you also, as to start thinking in a different way about your business and I sometimes tend to do that. Some of the things I'm interested in are kind of a little weird or something, and I separate them from my business. And I still haven't figured out exactly how to put things together. But when you can find a cause that you feel other people will be interested in, and the one that you have is a good example of it. And you can put that together. It's like you can, it's like so meaningful that, it's just so clear how powerful you have been going after this, because it's really important to you. And so you do more good by doing things that are important to you.
I want to say, I agree. And I want to say one other thing. Very transparent share here. You can probably get the feeling that I do the homework, I do the math, I watch the metrics, I really care about mastery in everything that I do. And all along my entrepreneurial journey, which is over 20 years, I always put myself in kind of a box. I'll teach you how to write a brilliant bio. I'll teach you to create a great media one sheet. I'll teach you to become a brilliant podcast guest. It was very how to. And I never really brought myself fully forward as a fully evolved human being that had values and opinions and perspectives to share that were uniquely my own. After going through this illness, something changed within me, and I wasn't comfortable leaving myself on the shelf anymore. And so living my best life and living my best business in this final chapter, whatever length it is, it's become really important to me. And so I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that between the birthday fundraiser for the Fourth Angel Mentoring Program and the various donations that have come forth, almost $4,000 has been raised in the last calendar year for the Fourth Angel Mentoring Program. If I'm lucky enough to be here another 10 years, 10 times 4,000 is $40,000. Like, I feel really great about that. I mean, it's not $3 million like I helped to make happen at Taco Time, but it's something. And so my birthday is Friday, December 1st. Tomorrow, November 28th, is Giving Tuesday. If your bio is boring, benign, and unremarkable, and you want it to be standout, spectacular, and door opening, and you can part with $27 to my favorite cause, won't you do it? And get that Bye Bye Boring Bio eWorkbook as your reward. It will be something you will come back to again and again and again and be very grateful for, because it's packed with a lot of value, because anything I do with the greatest level of mastery that I can bring to it. And that's what I want you to remember about me, that I did it right and I did it well and I put some heart into it. And I hope that you would do the same with whatever it is that you're here to do.
So the link to that is the same one that we just did. So
getknowngetpaid.com/EMC.
So Cynthia, it's the same link that we just used before. And so the way it works.
Like, what if you could share that link with you'll get the 6-question special report, and the second email will invite you to make the donation. So you'll make the donation tomorrow
So I promoted the 6-question questionnaire, but it was a few months ago, and I think it was before you did this.
Okay, right? So I forgot to tell you this, and I'm sorry I didn't. I told you the media one sheet page was converted, had a 43% take rate, and the Bye Bye Boring Bio donation page has a 16% take rate, but the 6-question special report has a 51% take rate. What would you rather? Do you want 51% or do you want 43 or 16? I'll take 51% every day of the week. So
Yeah.
when you have whatever new gift you create, you got to get 300 or more people to it as soon as possible so you can actually do the math to see how well it's converting. If it's converting from click to lead at 50% or better, you've got yourself a workhorse that you can ride all the way to the roses. So it's taken a little bit of refinement for the 6 questions opt-in page to get to where it is right now. But now I feel like it's prepared to explode. So if anybody is on this call that would love to share this 6 question special report with your community as a joint venture partner, reach back to me and I'll make it super easy for you. And anyone that decides to move up the food chain beyond the donation, of course, I'm happy to share the wealth with you and have it be a blessing to everybody.
So why don't you put your email address in the chat?
I would be happy to do that.
If you're willing to promote that. Yeah, absolutely. And when I did promote it, which I said was before she had put this in there, so I did download it and read it, and it's a really thought. I think what I said about it was, this is more than your usual thing. It's really thought provoking and really helps you go deep into who you are and what you want to be doing. So it's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, and I love what you were talking about, Nancy, about legacy, and that's become something I've worked on now the last few years, and part of it's having grandchildren on 2 continents. That's part of it. But what I really love to do is get involved with a project that doesn't touch my life or anybody close to me directly. And I'm involved with something now for community colleges, starting in California and then going around the United States. And I love that project because it's really, really hard because I have to deal directly with politicians, which isn't very much fun. And, but I'm making progress. And I just love that'll be part of my legacy.
Good.
I think that that's awesome, Connie. And when I look back on my life, I'm proud of a lot of things that I've contributed to the world, most notably a wonderful, healthy son, a wonderful marriage that I've been lucky to be in for 37 years, a reputation that I've worked really hard to build as doing the right thing and doing the right thing by others. But I am more fully me, giving it my very best beyond my very specific expertise than I've ever been before. It's very freeing. So I would say, don't wait for a black cat to cross your path before you take yourself off the shelf and be fully expressed in your business and your life, because you'll just be a bright light that shines really brilliantly, and people will be attracted to that or not. But either way, it's fine, because we don't have time to waste with people that are hanging around on the merry-go-round. We got to get on the racetrack and run for the roses. And I really want my people to feel like I'm the person to get them there.
So I just want to kind of summarize that, what you're saying, Nancy, is that you can grow your list, and you can do it by offering something for free, because that gets you the most people in at the beginning. And then in the autoresponders, you can offer them kind of like an upsell, another gift that they get that in return for a donation. And the thing, that's the principle of it, or the process of it. And I think that, it's like a win-win-win kind of thing, because not only do you get people to consume something else of yours, which is valuable, but you pass on, you show your, you show your values to your list. And so it kind of sets you up as that kind of value-based business, and shows where you are. And I don't know if you do any storytelling with it when you talk about why you're choosing that in the autoresponder. If you explain like why you chose that, like you told us about it. So people get to know who you are, and they see you as a value-based business, but yet they're consuming your products, which are very kind of business oriented, to help people solve a specific problem. You serve speakers, and they need to get on podcasts, they need a one sheet and all that kind of stuff. So
I want to say one more thing about that, and it has to do with the way it feels.
Yeah.
What is the word that is used?
Like ambiance in a restaurant?
No. Many entrepreneurs will do a super low ticket offer, like come to my 3-day event for $1.
A tripwire.
Tripwire. So
Yeah.
there's the whole day of a tripwire. Okay, buy this thing for $5, and then you buy the thing for $5, and then you know that the big pounce is coming. You parted with the $5, and the big pounce is coming, and you know it, and you're ready for it, and it can be very aggressive. That's a different kind of feeling than, won't you donate $27 to a cause very close to my heart and get something of extreme value that will allow you to share your own story in a much bigger way. It feels different. And I think I'm a unicorn. I want people to feel really great about doing business with me because we are values aligned. And that's because I run a boutique, highly profitable boutique business with a jewel box of amazing clients, and that's my choice. So coming back to earlier, what I was saying, what is your model and what are you trying to build? Make sure that the activities and initiatives that you put in place are aligned and congruent with the kind of business you want and the kind of feeling you're trying to convey about who you are, what you do, and how you do it. Because if it's all integrated, it feels really good to everybody. And you know what? I want to feel great about what I'm doing every single day. I don't want any icky people under the tent or any kind of weird, icky transaction energy that feels misaligned or inappropriate for the way I like to do things. And I'm just waving the flag for it, because if I can do this, you can do this. But, it's the way it feels that makes it different. Don't you think?
Yes. Definitely.
I mean, I think it's more than just the feel, because I think you're actually doing something different, but it does create a different feeling. I mean, having a tripwire for people to pay and they get something, and then instead giving it to them in return for a donation, it feels different, but it is different. It is different. You're not getting the money. So that's the current. Oh, so you could say like the currency is getting people who are aligned with you. That's like what you're getting.
Yes, I think that is the most important thing, because if you have people come behind the velvet rope that are not right for you, you can feel that straight away. And
Right.
you know also what it feels like to have a list of clients where your heart skips a beat with every appointment you see on your calendar. You know that you're going to add value and they're going to appreciate it. And that's the kind of scenario I'm aiming to build for myself and set the example that others can do the same. Because I didn't get a single request for refund all year long from anybody anywhere on the planet. People get value and they stay. And what if that was your situation? People were getting value, they open your emails, they can't wait to see what next you have to share. And when you make an invitation for them to go deeper, they jump right in. I would like that for you, because that's going to build prosperity for everybody and make the world a better place. And there's no time like right now to make that happen.
We're at the top of the hour. So I'm just going to say thank you so much, Nancy. This has been wonderful. And some of the nice comments that have been, besides just thank you, you are amazing and inspiring, Cheryl said. And let's see, it was very inspiring and useful, Nancy, to help others and receiving at the same time. Thank you. So very helpful from Debbie. Janice said, awesome, thank you so much for this profound insights, great training. You can tell, by the way, that I heard Nancy speak last February in Orlando, and she talked about her cancer, and it was amazing. Nancy is an amazing speaker, very inspiring speaker, and yet she combines it with very practical advice about building a business and helping other people at the same time. So, nice.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye, everybody. If you have any questions, I'll send out an email as soon as I get the recordings up, and if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.